Hello, hello. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. Yes, today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, guys. We are live on YouTube with Manifest with Maria, and we are also live here on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. Today we are going to be talking about ways to find the money and how this powerful technique really does help with getting peace and finding peace in your life. So I think a lot of us really confuse the emotions part in terms of how to solve problems, right? We get in this place where we may be running out of resources, or we just don't have enough resources every month to cover whatever the necessary bills are. And then we do this comparison to other people. We compare and compete with other people, and then kind of find ourselves in this like negative place because of it, right? And I want to talk about this a little bit because there are times where you're going to want to invest in some things. For example, if you're running a business, you're going to want to invest in some systems. You're probably going to want to invest on some coaching, a roadmap to follow. You're going to want to invest in, let's just say you want to get another property. You're going to want to invest in, let's say you want to be a flipper, a house flipper, right? And in order for you to do that, you actually need to have contractors in line to help you with that kind of business. And that needs money. So investing in your business or in yourself is probably one of the most important things to do when you're growing whatever your life is forward. Like anytime you want to grow it forward, it does require some income, some money. And people convince themselves to not, or people convince themselves and say that they can't and that they don't have enough resources. So today we're going to be talking about that. Ways to find the money, and you'd be shocked in how many potential ways you can actually find the money, and how peaceful it is to know that there are these avenues that you can take to actually do the thing you want to do. Okay, so let's kind of like reel back a time in your life where you felt, okay, maybe I can reference myself. There was a time where I actually joined coaching many years ago. I think of like many, many years ago. I was about 19, turning 20. I was rocking a fake ID to go drink at the bars, right? Hey, Jess. Hope you're well. Talk to you tomorrow. Um, I was rocking a fake ID to drink at the bars, which meant to me I wasn't 21 yet. So I knew I was like under 21, but I was at a high school, so I was between 19 and 20. I was with a group of friends who really had an interesting dynamic because we all went out, but then we also really enjoyed personal development. Like we would love, and maybe that's the reason why I love that group so much. We, one of the books, if you guys know me, one of my first ever personal development books is The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. It's a really small book and it's a quick read, right? And I love that book because it was just giving me insight on potential of life, the potential of my life, the potential of other people's lives. So I felt like it was kind of like a magic book to me. Like if I continued reading this, I would be able to create whatever it is that I'm looking to create. Anyway, same thing for coaching. That's what I did. I did a coaching program when I was about 20 years old. And at the time, they asked for $1997, so about $2,000 to do this coaching program here in Vegas. At 20 years old, $2,000 was like $1 million, right? Like what? How do I get $2,000? Where do I find that? Like who's going to even lend me that? I didn't have any lines of credit at the time. I was young and I didn't know how to find money. Somehow, one of my girlfriends lent me, I think half of it, and then another like friend lent me the other half. So then I was able to come up with the tuition costs for the program, and then I repaid them back, interest free, luckily, but over the course of I think a year, because I was paying like $100 every month. Like it was really like small payments, but they were so kind enough to not interest me up my ass. Anyway, the idea here is that there are there are avenues that you can actually find resources, right? So if you were to look up your contacts, who in your contacts can you quickly ask, hey, can you send me 1,000? Hey, would you be open to investing 5 in this potential business idea, whatever it is? Who do you have in your Rolodex? That is number one. That is a number one way. That's number one. I'm going to give you a few others, but that is number one of the ways. And that's how come I always say your net worth is connected to your network in all ways, because you could also look at your network and ask who would be my potential investors, right? Also, you could ask who would lend me some money just on some like, I don't know, y'all have some cool relationship and they trust you enough, right? So look at it that way. Now, okay, this is the other side of that, is how giving are you in your community? Because people don't lend to just anybody, right? They have to lend to people that they trust, people that they know will come back with a return of something, and that it's just not going to fall flat. And it's not going to be a consistent, hey, let me hold $50. Hey, let me hold, like, because my light bill is due. It's more of a transactional thing. Like you're actually transacting when you lend and ask for money from people or have them invest in whatever it is that you are talking about. So if you don't have that, hey Cindy, talk to you in about 25 minutes or sooner. If you don't have that kind of relationship with your Rolodex, that shows how giving you are in your community. That is a reflection in how you show up. And I want you guys to take an honest look at how you guys show up right now. Because, the life you want to build, you don't do it by yourself. You build it with other people. I don't have a business, like 2 of my clients right now are sitting in this live, right? I don't have a business without people in the business, without clients I'm serving. You see? You don't build your business by yourself. You don't build your business when they say it's a one-man show, that's cool, and there could be some truth to that. There was a time where I was a one-man show prior to me hiring my VA, which I've promoted her to be my executive assistant now. But prior to that, it was just me. However, the real truth of it is that no, my business actually involves my community, my clients, the people that support me on the background, like my husband, my kids. My kids are a big support to me because when I'm on calls, they have to be quiet, right? Or hey, don't come into mommy's office. There is a large support community within your ecosystem. So it's not just you that's running your business. You always have to think, who are the people in my community? And then also, how do I show up in that community? Because if you did have a really amazing, let's just say, I'm always constantly looking for real estate properties here in the Valley, like duplexes I can like try to take and snag. And let's say I wanted to do like this investing pool where it's like, hey, we're going to invest in this duplex, triplex, quadruplex, whatever the fuck. And I ask a certain amount of people, and their answer to me, obviously it depends on how great the opportunity is, but their answer to me does show a reflection in our relationship, okay? And I want you guys to take accountability in that, because there is so much power we have in how we show up in people's lives. And it also shows the power we have in how we can command money into our lives. You see, it's not about just us. It's not about just me, Maria. It's about how big of an impact do I make in my community? You know, how big of an impact do I make even in my email list? I have an email list. I just got done doing I don't know if some of you all got it, but I just got done running a podcast program for 7 days, sold it out. I sold it out. I maxed it at first 8 people. Then I had to extend it because my early bird situation kind of got out of hand. I didn't think everybody was going to jump into it during the early bird. I had to extend it to 12 and max that, sold out that entire program. I'm at 12 for 12 and I'm only 8 days into the month. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want you guys to look at how big do you show up in your community? How big do you show up even in your prospect list, your email list? How big do you show up? You know, one of the things I want to commend one of these, I think she's still here, Jessica. The moment you signed up for ConvertKit, girl, I see your emails pretty much every other day. That's a huge impact. And I want to applaud you for that, because number one, ConvertKit's not free. You have to pay, right? Number two, you're utilizing it to its full potential. Anytime you send out an email to people, and email is very powerful. Email is equivalent to a text message nowadays. Okay? And that, Jessica, is an impact you're making in people's lives. I'm constantly seeing Jessica's email. I'll reply to her. I don't know if you got my email the other day. I replied to one of them. But that is the power in how you make an impact in people's lives. And that's just the first step. Because how about in your real life? How do you show up in your real life? I've recently mended a lot of my close relationships with my mom and my sisters. And maybe a couple of years ago, I couldn't be confident and tell you guys, you know, my family would definitely invest in me. I wouldn't be confident in that because we were in a weird place. You know, now I can feel very confident in knowing that I show up in their life in a big way, where if I were to ever ask them for anything, I think they would come through for me. You see? So I want you guys to think about it in that capacity. How do you show up in your community? Because how you show up in your community is how you find the resources. It's all connected. Okay. Another thing is that there's a lot of financial institutions out here. Jessica, so happy for you. Thank you. There's a lot of financial institutions out here that offer like hard lines of credit, right? They offer lines of loans. You could do a loan if you needed some income. You could do a line of credit. If you own property, you can pull the equity from that. If you own a car, even if it's you're making payments on the car, you can run a loan on that car. Think about what you could, think about the things you own. You know, if you have designer things, if you have a designer purse you don't use anymore, what could that go for? I'll tell you a little story. Prior to me and my husband, I had another, right? And I got a ton of bags in that relationship. So I had a thing where it's like, I don't want to bring that into this relationship. So I sold all those bags, sold them. And I sold them for a deal. I think I sold them for 50% off. So a lot of these were like $1,500 bags. I sold it for like $6, $5, so maybe even less than, right? Less than 50%. $5, quick cash. Sold those purses. And I was okay with that. I didn't want that. That was like yesterday's energy. That was like last year's chapter. You know what I mean? So think about what things you could sell to get more cash in. Also, your phones, devices, old devices that you don't use anymore. Are those just sitting around? And if they're broken, where can you go to a place that actually takes parts? You'd be surprised that these phones that we have now, these old ones, there's like a chip in there that is, what is it? It is, they're running out of these chips. I guess you have to make it out of this like special metal that is running out, or like it's scarce in the world. So a lot of these phone companies, that's how come they want to trade in your old phone to take that chip. Now, if you have old phones laying around, that could be money for you guys, because you could sell that to whoever, whatever street like store that takes parts. They would pay you good money for that. Think about that, okay? Maybe some old jewelry, or you could pawn things and then get it back later. I mean, that's extreme, right? But you could literally find money anywhere. And I want you guys to think about it that way, because the more you think about it that way, the more peaceful you are in life. Like, okay, I know I can find money. Making money is easy. Okay, now if you have some blocks around making money in my business is hard, then that's a block that we need to work on. But if in general, like release the business part in general, making money is really easy if you think about it. What could you get rid of? What could you work as part-time? You know, here there's Uber, there's Lyft you could do. There's so many opportunities. You know, you could even do some coaching. If you wanted to like do coaching for like $50 a session. You know, get resourceful in terms of how to make money. And don't keep yourself stuck in the idea that you can't, because that's all a thought process. That's all a mindset shift that needs to happen. Okay, because money is just the vessel to get you to that next step. But we put so much emphasis on money and making money that we get in our own way. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I hope this was impactful. And this week, you know, we're halfway through the week. I want you to take a look at how you've been showing up in all aspects. How big of an impact do you make in your life, in your family's life, in your business, in your community? Right? I can post something on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever the fuck. And if I get 2 likes, I don't care because I know the biggest impact I make is huge in every aspect. So if you get down on yourself on something like likes on Instagram, or views on YouTube, or likes on TikTok, or whatever it looks like, you get in the way. You see, you're getting in the way of just the flow, the free flow of things. Okay? Because one social media platform doesn't equate your bank account. It just doesn't. There's no connection. There isn't. And a lot of people connect that, and then they think that, oh, well, I only have these many followers, and these are how many people engage with my shit, and I'm a failure. No, wrong. You know, because y'all see the engagement I get, and I make fucking money in my coaching business. And I think that there are people who have hundreds and thousands of followers who don't make what I make in my business. You see? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you could post something that doesn't, if the likes you get on your thing, it doesn't equate how much money you make. It just doesn't. Because in the end, there's even someone, I've said this story before. There's a lifestyle brand a couple of years ago who came to me. She had 40,000 followers, and at the time I only had 1,500 followers. Like it was like in the beginning parts of my coaching business, but she had 40,000 followers. She lived in London, and she goes, I just don't know how to convert my followers into paying clients. And I looked at all her stuff. Her post was high engaging. However, the problem with that is that she didn't offer anything. She just showed her life. You see? So it's not about the engagement on a post. It's about how converting are your stuff. Either your posts, I could on the back end get like 300,000 shares on a post. The 15 million ways to make, or was it the 15 ways to make $1 million? I got a gazillion shares on that on the back end, but I only got a few tiny likes. You see, so it doesn't matter what's publicly being shown anywhere, because you command how you convert. You see, people also don't know how big my email list is, right? Because people could actually have a small account, but their email list is huge, and you would never know that. Send out one email, you get one sale. That's how come ConvertKit to me is like the most powerful system that I own. And well, I don't own, but that I pay for. That is the one that I will not stop using, which I just recently turned off Teachable because I just don't think it's really like profitably making sense to continue to invest in that. ConvertKit, though, hands down, the most profitable one, hands down. Because you send out one email, that's a potential client right there, potential income. You know, even if it's not a client, they just bought something from you, right? You could even do like, Jessica, I know you do like products on ConvertKit. That's amazing. I saw you could even do subscriptions, like monthly subscriptions, $20 moon reading every month, whatever, $19.99 moon readings, $19.99 psychic readings, $19.99 tarot card readings. You see? You see how I just came up with a quick product right there for you? Like, what else could you do? That could be a thing you could throw into your email list, Jess. I like the moon readings. I think those are really unique. I don't see those often. Tarot card readings are very, yeah, let's talk about that. We have a lot of stuff we need to cover. So, you know, if you guys are getting stuck in your own way about money, expand a little bit more, because money is everywhere and it's probably in your closet right now. You probably have a pair of like something, a bag, some shades. I remember a friend of mine bought some Christian Dior shades for like $500, and then she dropped them in the garage of like one of the strip hotels. She dropped them. And then like one of the glasses fell out. One of the glass thingy fell out. I was like, man, you could have sold that. You know, you could have, I don't know what she did with them. I think she tried to fix it. But the idea here is that you have a lot of resources available to you if you open your mind and if you just think about money without the emotions. You know, that feeling of, so heavy money. Money is so heavy. No, remove that. Money is just a vessel to get you to that end result, whatever that end result is. Either your place in Bali, right? Either a car, a dream car. Either maybe you want to invest in real estate. Maybe you want to open up a school. I don't know. Like whatever your thing is, it's just the vessel. So focus on that vessel. Focus on that end result first. Don't focus on the money. We put too much energy on the money that we block the money because it's so low. The energy is so low that it takes away from the high vibration of the end result. You see, the end result should be high vibe, but to get there is low vibe, which you'll never get to the high vibe if you're operating from a low place. I hope you're getting me with that. Okay, guys, I do have to jump on this coaching call. Cindy, if you're still on, let's do this. Thank you, YouTube, for watching. Jess, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Take care. YouTube. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a good day.